to your point about the sadness bowl, Patton is a really great storyteller.
Oh yeah, most comedians
So like,
are.
yeah,
Yeah.
so like he really puts you there at 2 a.m. with it.
Oh, this.
So
Oh, we have people. So hi, people.
hi, people.
Hi, people.
Hi, people. If somebody has trauma and they want to talk about their trauma, then bring it up. Talk about it. Who has trauma? We can even sub out a co-host to engage with your trauma specifically. Because if not, then I'm just going to talk about random trauma. I'm going to pick a random trauma subject and we're going to talk about, which I'm okay with. But so let me actually get that. Let me get that item going. Have either of you been to a high school reunion?
I have not been to any of mine.
I almost went to my 10-year. Decided I didn't care enough to do the 6-hour drive. And then whenever our 20-year came around, it ended up not happening because there was drama on the board of people putting it together. So big fight about like the restaurant they wanted everyone to eat at, and then it just devolved into um a bunch of BS and like the same cliques from high school. And like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They basically never grew up.
Yep.
All right. Well, then, my other positive, although Brandon, you're probably going to have more. You and I'll probably have more input about this than perhaps Miranda will. Is a dating app trauma.
Oh.
So high school reunion or dating app trauma?
Well, I can't contribute to the high school reunion because I've never been to any of mine. I have no interest really in reuniting with any of those people.
Or
I'm okay if I never talk to them again.
We can do job interviews.
Job interview.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Job interview trauma. Or we can do. I don't think you won't have any experience with custody battle trauma. Because I've been there. And then, well, have you ever visited somebody in prison before?
I haven't.
I'm talking to a guy on a dating app right now. Actually, I mean, not right now, but I mean, we're
Okay. Well, let's go for that then. Let's go back to, because I've got a couple of really good dating app trauma stories.
Most of them have been short-lived conversations.
All right, so I just have a reference document for this. So you're talking about the ghosting cascade.
Yeah, kind of. See, nowadays, I don't know. Like, there are a couple of dating apps where I've been having a conversation back and forth with the guy, and he like asks a question. We're just talking back and forth, asking questions, answering whatever, and he asks me something, and then I go to the app to answer this question, and it says profile unavailable. It's like just complete
drop off.
Yeah. And I am wondering if some of these are either bots or they're like, well, probably bots, but I mean, they're there to kind of promote the dating app, basically to get you to interact, and then they cut it off because obviously you're not going to meet this bot in person, so they've got to cut it off sometime.
Right, but
But
they're wanting you to pay for the premium thing so you can message everybody or like whatever the
right. And they're
specific
like,
app does.
oh, I've been talking to this good looking guy. There's possibilities here. Okay, this guy cut me off, but I there's hope. I can meet other guys like this, and blah blah blah. Well, I'm not falling for that, but um, there is a guy I've been talking to a little bit. He doesn't live too far away, and I'm thinking about maybe meeting him. And I know he's as we've had a long enough conversation back and forth that I know he's not a bot. And I've also seen him on another app. I've seen him on Grinder. So, um, you know, I'm pretty sure he actually exists. So, but anyway, I I just don't know. Like, I asked him what he was looking for, and he said he's open as far as like short term, long term, hookup, whatever. So I don't know how to approach it. Whether like, well, I kind of want to just propose to meet for coffee or whatever, something casual,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
and then see where it goes.
Right.
That's kind of my inclination.
So you understand, like, there's like the rule.
The rule?
Yeah, there's a rule for this.
Okay.
The way the rule works is this: you chat with the person for 48 hours. So 48 hours, you're texting back and forth. Maybe 72, but at long as 72 is it. No, I just get. See, okay, there we go. Failure pile in a sadness bowl for lunch.
Well,
So you get after you hit 72 hours, okay, it's time for a phone call.
oh,
No, no.
oh.
Yeah. Okay, there's your see, Brandon, sweetie, there's your trauma talking. There's your trauma talk. Why not a phone call?
I'd have to give him a number.
You don't have to do that.
You could do a Google Voice number or
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I mean, I guess so. Yeah.
Here, Brandon, I'm just going to tell you, there's a lovely app for Android and iPhones called Burner.
Oh, Burner.
Yes, Burner. Burner is the name of the app, and for you can.
Is it all spelled out, or is it one of those apps that they skip the vowels or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. BRNR.
You can use Burner to generate a VoIP number that will route back to your phone number.
Oh gosh.
But he'll never see it. It'll just be whatever random number. But but after 72 hours, okay, now it's time. Now it's either time to meet at the cafe and talk or have a phone call.
Well, I've already passed that 72 hours, but I guess I could still try to. I don't know.
So,
yeah.
But here's the thing. Yes, honey, it's listen to mama. Mama knows it's time to meet for coffee.
Burner.
I'm. I'm a security.
I do love coffee as a first date though. Like that's
Yes.
a good
That
learn people,
you're
safe outs, all that stuff.
Public place, all that. Yeah.
You're in a public space and what? Oh, my woman's laughing at my screen. But you're in a public place. Now, here's the thing. After that, you should be doing 1 date a week or 1 date every 10 years.
If that one goes well, with that same person, is that what you're saying?
Yes, yeah. You
okay.
meet that person. The rules say you should be going on a date every 7 to 10 minutes. Now here's the thing. I'm just going to warn you is if the guy says, well, I can only date at your house and I can't date at night and I can't talk at night on the phone. I can only see you during the daytime.
Yeah.
You might be having that problem.
Or he's just, yeah.
It's either that problem or it's another dude. Which I mean, like if you're poly sensitive, that makes it okay. Yeah, Eileen. Everyone in the chat said, "Bless you, Kira."
I'm sorry. My sneeze. Wow.
So, but yeah, that's. I mean, we're talking about we're talking about the avoiding the ghost. Like when you chat with a guy, how many people end up ghosting?
Ghosting?
Yeah.
Oh, it just depends on the app. I mean, Grindr, there's quite a bit of that, but and like I said, it's hard to tell. Like some of these that may be bots, I don't know if they're. I don't know. It's hard to tell anymore if they're actual people ghosting or if it's actually just bots that
ran out their
are
script.
dropping off.
Yeah.
So like one of my nightmare situations was I was chatting with somebody and I went to 72 hours. And so I said, okay, now it's time to meet for coffee. And, I'm not a spring chicken. I understand I'm not. I'm over 50. I think I look young for a 50-year-old, but I'm over 50. And so, it was sort of one of these deals where I was like, okay. And we agreed to meet. And I got there and he was like 75.
Oh.
And he had a beard down to here.
Did you not see a picture beforehand?
Like I did beforehand. And he didn't have.
He sent one of the old ZZ Top pictures, not one of the updated ones.
Yeah. I like. He didn't have the beard, but here's the other thing: he was walking with a cane.
Okay.
And he had clearly been a stroke victim at one point.
Oh. Okay.
And so I sat there and I was all done up. I had my hairpiece on, and I had done my makeup writing. So I was talking to him, and how do you tell that person no? Exactly. Exactly.
So did you ghost him?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
No, I didn't. He walked me to his car. Or walked me to my car.
Are you sure you didn't walk him?
No.
With the
like he walked my car. He did go in for a kiss. I was not comfortable with that. And so, rolled the window down and I said, okay, I think you're really nice. I think you're attractive. I do think you're a little old for me. I'm just going to be honest. So I'm going to go home and I'm going to think about it, and then I'll call you. And so he was like, amazingly, he was like, thank you for your honesty. And I was like, sure, of course. So, that's how that went. Now, yeah, Eileen, you're completely correct. I agree with 100%. Now, on the flip side of that, I went to Johnny's Hideaway one night. Now, Johnny's Hideaway is a bar in Atlanta that has weirdly, like back in the late 80s and early 90s, Johnny's Hideaway was where all the 40, 50, and 60-year-old women went, all the cougars went to pick up young men. And I know that because I went to Johnny's Hideaway in my 20s and basically got a check mark off one of my bucket list items that I did not anticipate ever checking off because I was a cisgendered heterosexual male at the time. And but I went back to Johnny's Hideaway because I had trans friends that have said, oh, it's trans hangout now. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Okay. So did my hairpiece, did my makeup, put on a really cute dress. I wore 2-inch heels, and I went down there and sat at the bar. And a dude walked up, started talking to me, started buying me drinks, and I was like, okay. And it was like a 1 hour or 2 hour conversation. He was buying my drinks. I mean, I wasn't bitching or whatever. And so, like, it was really nice. He wasn't like touchy feely or anything. So he said, well, can we go sit in my car and talk? And I was like, um, sure. So we went out to his car and sat down, and literally within, I shit you not, a minute and a half of sitting in his car, his hand went down, unzipped his pants, whipped it out, and said, okay, go for it. And I was like,
Oh.
I bought you drinks, you owe me now.
I bought
Kind
you
of
drinks,
mentality.
you owe me a blowjob now. And I was like, no, we're not going to do that. And he got mad.
Well, yeah, of course.
He got mad and he got aggressive and he tried to grab the back of my head. And that's when I turned my head and looked at him and said, I'm going to remind you that I'm 6'6" and I weigh about 250. And you probably don't want to do that because it doesn't matter how much the estrogen has atrophied my muscles, I'm still going to kick your ass. So that's the false hope date that happens because of dating app trauma. And so what the false hope date is, that's like online, the person's completely perfect and it's amazing. And then you meet the person, and in both of those dates cases, it's.
Yeah. Well, I had that with one guy I talked to back and forth. We didn't exchange pictures, but we described our physical appearance to one another or whatever. And when you when you picture somebody in your mind that you want to meet, of course you're going to picture somebody good looking or that you're attracted to, because the physical descriptions are kind of vague, height, weight, that kind of eye color, that really doesn't give you a clear picture of the person, So we met in a grocery store parking lot, public place, and when we when I drove up and saw him, I was like, oh, that's not who I was picturing. And but so he was like, then we were gonna drive back to his house, And at that time, I was much more like of a kind of a people pleaser, and I thought, well, I've agreed to meet him here. I've driven out here, and like I don't want to do anything with him, but so I drove back to his house. We go in. It's kind of dark, and we go up these stairs. It's like so we go to this. I don't remember if I mentioned this in another live or not, but so we go up the stairs. There's this one landing, and there's an open door with. There's this guy sitting in there watching TV. I don't know who he was, but maybe he was related. Maybe he was a landlord or something. I don't know. So
Yeah,
Right.
it was a surprise character.
I'm like, yeah, so we keep going up the stairs to the second landing to where his room was,
Right.
and it was a mess.
Beth,
I mean,
it puts the lotion on its skin or it gets the water.
that's exactly, yes. It was basically Buffalo Bill's house except 2 stories. And it was a mess. He had, clothes and stuff everywhere. He had this little TV on a nightstand or table or whatever, and Wheel of Fortune was on, which, what I mean, I don't know. This so I sat down in probably the only place there was a place to sit down, and he sat on his bed, and we were just sitting there watching Pat Sajak on Vanna White, just and then this mouse runs across the floor and under his bed, and I was like, and he didn't say anything, he didn't do anything. I was like, well, I guess he lives here too. I mean, he apparently belongs here, so like, all right, I just and I was like, well, I think I'm gonna go, and he was like, and he offered to give me a blowjob, and he's like, and you don't have to do anything in return. It's like, oh no, that's okay.
Yep.
I mean, I appreciate the offer and everything, but I think I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
I think we'll just go back down past the weird guy watching TV, and hopefully he's not putting on a skin suit and getting ready to keep me a little longer than I intended to stay. But no, I got out of there alive, obviously, and later when he messaged me and asked what was what happened. I was like, well, you weren't exactly what I had anticipated.
Yeah.
I didn't go into detail, but I wasn't mean about it or anything. But I was like, well, just not what I expected. And then I think he got a little offended by it. And he's like, well, you weren't either. I'm like, okay, well,
Okay.
touche. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't bring any of my rodents with me.
No, I didn't know. I didn't know we were bringing friends with us.
I've had a similar experience, but my experience in that capacity was the take one for the team experience. And so that was Shay and Cammie and I and another of my trans friends. We all went out one night. and we ended up at Felix's. And Felix's is a gay bar downtown in Atlanta. It's actually in Ansley Park, which, uncannily enough, at this time, I lived in Ansley Park, so I could walk to Felix's. And so we were there, and a group of guys came in, and they were all chasing us or whatever. And so the night went on, and it was finally like we were going to leave. And so the guy's name was John, and he was kind of big. He was dad bod or whatever. And I had on a cute skirt and a halter top, and I looked okay or whatever. And so turns out that like three of the guys they were all roommates that lived together. And so they were like, we're gonna go back to our place or whatever. And so Cammy was like, fuck yeah, Wendy, you have to do this. I'm gonna get lucky. And I'm like, okay. And so and then my other friend, Ellie, we'll call her Ellie, was the same way. Like she was going to get lucky with the other roommate. So it was like, but for it to work out, you have to go with the John guy. Okay. And he was bearded, kind of big, dad bod or whatever. I mean, he didn't look bad, but we went back to their place, which was in Morningside. So it was like 2 or 3 miles away, whatever, this house. The house was really nice. And so I was like, okay, I mean, I can go with this. But John was really, really nervous and really, really jittery and didn't know what to do or anything. And so I said, okay. So we went up. So I went into his bedroom or whatever, and Tammy went with the other guy, and it got very loud from that room for like an hour. So you sort of knew what the fuck was going on. And then Ellie was clearly having fun too. Well, so I went into his room and I sat down. That's when I got scared, because hanging on his wall was a giant Confederate flag.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And so, and then here's the other thing. On the other side of the room, and this was the weirdest thing ever, was he had a giant painting of Napoleon Bonaparte.
Mm.
Okay. Right. At what point do I say, because I was the one that drove everybody, so if I left, Tammy and Ellen would be stuck, and I wasn't about to do that. And so I sat down. That's when he told me, this is where it gets bad. That's when he told me, okay, so, Wendy, I have to be honest with you. And I'm like, okay, be honest with me. He said, I'm not gay. And I'm like, well, neither am I. And he's like, well, you're like a drag queen, right? And I'm like, no. And he's like, so you're not a faggot? He like said faggot. And I was like, definitely not. And he said, so how does this work or whatever? I mean, like, and then he had to have the penis conversation. And I was like, okay. And so he was like, well, do you do anything with it? And I'm like, no, I don't. And so he's like, so do I have to touch it or anything? And I'm like, no, you don't. And so he was like, oh, so then I just, that thing, and then whatever else. And I was like, yes. And so
like my guy, you're making this all sound so sexy and appealing.
yeah, like, And he was
great foreplay.
I know. Like I literally was like, oh my God, I have a trans chaser who has been faced with his ultimate fantasy and he doesn't know what the fuck to do.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, I mean, but your friends are women. No, they're trans women too. And it sounds like they're having a good time up there also, I want to remind you. It was like, really? So does that mean my friends are going to be gay? And I'm like, no. Having sex with a trans woman doesn't make you gay. And so he finally acquiesced and said, okay. So I got him sat down, got his pants off, and started to do things. And I didn't really sort of like, I told him, like, I'm going to test your threshold a little bit. And 2 fingers. And it immediately got violent.
Oh,
Because he immediately jumped out of the bed and went, oh my God, no, that's gay as fuck. And I went, hasn't a woman ever done that to you before or whatever? And he was like, yeah, and I told her it was gay as fuck too. And I'm like, so if a girl takes a couple of fingers and puts them into an area that makes you gay. He's like, yes, it's gay as shit. And I'm like, but it's a woman
yeah,
who's, do you understand the disconnect that's going on here?
obviously not.
And so he immediately went into the past trauma trigger, which is another dating experience you never want to have. And so that's the, like, you go on a date or you have a conversation and it resurrects whatever trigger. Uh, um, whatever. Yes, Eileen, I know it sounds very dark to Ruth. Like, I get it, but when you're dating and you're in the dating realm, I mean, these are things you have to think about. And so, it immediately triggered like a basement dynamic trigger or whatever, and then got mad. There was yelling and there was screaming, and then I I hadn't even gotten undressed yet, and I went out to the car, sat in the car, turned the car on because I had an electric vehicle, turned the air conditioner on because it was the middle of the summer, and waited for my friends to come back out. Which, so don't ever do that, Miranda. If you go down that road, just remember, don't use 2 fingers. 2 fingers bad.
2 fingers too much.
2 fingers too much, especially if the dude has a giant Confederate flag hanging in his room with a Napoleon painting of Napoleon. You know, that's bad.
Yeah.
But one of the final stages of dating trauma period really is, I have to ask, so Brandon, refresh my memory, do you have siblings?
I do.
Okay. Miranda, you have siblings, right?
Yeah, I have one.
Okay. The success jealousy spiral. And that's when one family member finds a genuine connection and you have to watch,
Yeah.
and what that does to you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've kind of gotten over that because I mean, it's not necessarily. It doesn't really matter if it's siblings or not. Just friends, acquaintances in general. If most of them are married or have kids, that makes it a little difficult. Like just hanging out and stuff, because their worlds usually revolve around their families and everything, and that's understandable. But it also kind of puts me on the outside, and I hanging out with couples just kind of makes me feel third wheel, fifth wheel, whatever, however you want to put it.
The self-doubt, that's the self-doubt spiral trigger.
Yeah.
You feel happy for them, especially if it's a family member. But then you start to think about your own loneliness, your own separation, and your own self-doubt. And then that basic dynamic shifts, and then you're forced to deal with that internalized belief. And so it's like, if they're happy, why can't I be?
But part of it also is just not having as much in common with them, because they tend to talk about what they're doing and what their kids and everything like that. And it's not always that I'm envious, like, oh, I wish I had that, but it's like, well, I can't really relate to that.
This is a topic that doesn't apply to me.
Right.
Yeah, because I wouldn't date the same people, or I wouldn't have the same experience as they have. Which is funny, because I have a male and a female sibling on one side and a male and a female sibling on the other. And I identify more, freakishly enough, with both of my female siblings from their experience, but that's because I have like a June Cleaver fetish, and I want to be June Cleaver or whatever. I don't want to be a trad wife, but I love my kitchen and I love taking care of my kids and shit. And so, that comparison trap becomes problematic, because then I compare myself and the nature of my relationship, or the desire to have that relationship, against my sister. Now, my sister up in Maryland, married a house dad, so she's like the career person in her house, and he's not. And so that's much less of a traumatic comparison for me. But on the other side of the equation, with my other sister, yeah, and I hate that comparison. Of course, I did threaten to beat her spouse up one day, and my sister,
that might cause a little bit of a rift.
Well, there was no rift. There was no rift. That was the.
Oh, Siren, let me.
Gosh, I was like, is that me? Is that here? You
look,
got me a Diet Coke, but you didn't.
There's a squirrel in the tree above Miranda's head. Do you see that little squirrel? How cute. Anyway.
Oh, there's a squirrel?
Yeah, you see the squirrel? Oh, he's gone.
Tormenting my dog.
Oh, yes.
Oh, the dog is.
The dog definitely saw the squirrel.
Yeah. Lizzie.
Gosh, we're not autistic or anything, right? We're not ADHD in any way. Oh my
God, squirrel.
No,
I was watching. Do you know who Colton Underwood is? He was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there's that documentary coming out, Colton.
Yes.
I've been watching that. I watched one of the episodes last night, and it was the one where he's introduced to a gay couple, two males who adopted a child, and his friend wanted him to meet this gay couple to see, kind of see what the possibilities were for him and that kind of thing, and that was a little emotional for me to see, because I'm seeing this couple that have met, and they're happy, and they've got this family and everything. So, and seeing it through Colton's eyes, I guess, just seeing for the first time, because he's being introduced to all these elements of gay life for the first time. He's coming out. He's never been entrenched in any kind of gay culture or anything. He's met his first drag queen, and introduced to other friends, people who are gay, and he's never had gay friends and that kind of thing. So it's all very interesting.
I remember this. Isn't Colton Underwood like decidedly Christian?
He grew up Catholic. I think the next episode is called Church or something like that. And I think it'll get into that more. So he hasn't talked a whole lot about it, but he did grow up in a Catholic family. And
right.
So I believe he is, from what I remember hearing, like when he was on The Bachelor and things like that. But
like there was that whole story about he'd been blackmailed to come out.
Oh yeah.
Because the way I remember hearing it was that he, like some guy took hi Corinne, some guy took a nude picture of him in a gay sauna.
Oh yeah.
And then threatened to out him, and so he, there was a whole like email chain. I saw pictures of it. And so the Underwood like said he'd been like experimenting on Grindr under an alias. I wish Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, I wish Mike Johnson would hurry up and just do that. But yeah, I'm actually very interested in how if you watch that show, please keep commenting about it, because I'm very interested how he deals with those societal introductions and changes.
Yeah, so far it's been like he came out to his mom and his brother and his best friend, and then his dad, which was kind of a big deal for. He was very nervous, and then he went back to his high school because, in the being a football player in the locker rooms and everything, there were a lot of homophobic slurs and everything. Lots of, if you did something bad, that's gay, or
Mm-hmm.
lots of locker rooms are horrible for that kind of thing. The toxic masculinity that we were talking about yesterday, that comes out a lot in the sports world. But he went back to his coach to kind of confront him and say, all this stuff was going on under your nose. You allowed all of these things to happen, and it perpetuated this. And there was no way I could come out, that I was brave enough to come out in the midst of all of this, and I don't think he ever really got what he was looking for as far as from his coach. His coach kind of understood, but he kind of just made excuses, basically. He's like, well, that's kind of the world we live in. That's, it's a tough world. And, he did apologize. He said, I'm sorry that if I said anything or did, whatever to make you feel bad or whatever. But you could tell Colton was still he was like, yeah, but this happened when you were there. He was wanting more of like an apology or an admission.
Yeah.
Like, this is I'm taking responsibility, but he never did get really what he wanted out of it, I don't think, but he at least got an apology, which is, I mean, something more than some people get.
You should watch the Will and Harper movie on Netflix.
Will and Harper?
Yeah. So Will and Harper, that's the trans version of what you're talking about. And so
Oh, okay.
Harper Steele was Will Ferrell's writer on SNL. And Harper came out as trans.
Okay.
So then, like, she called him up and then went to his house and she said, bam. And he was like, oh my God, is that? And she said, yes. And so, the long and short of it was they jumped in a car and they did a cross country run and they were going from place to place, many of which were not places that were necessarily queer safe spaces. They stopped at a place in Oklahoma.
Mm.
It was a dive bar in, I think, Meeker, Oklahoma. And she walked in alone, and that was like the last place the trans woman would ever walk into. And then he walked in behind her, and then it turned into this. So understanding the trans paradigm versus the gay paradigm, um, that film really hits a bunch of cool shit that you could run into because, yeah, that's something that you would, if you were a trans woman, you would experience. The trauma as a trans person that you would experience.
Yeah. Did you say Will and Harper?
Yeah, Will and Harper. And basically it has Harper in it, Will Ferrell, Kristen Wiig, Will Forte, Molly Shannon, Tina Fey. Lorne Michaels is in it. Seth Meyers is in it. Colin Jost. I think Tim Meadows, if I remember right, Tim Meadows is even in it. The Ladies Band. And one other SNL alumni, but the movie itself is actually really kind of cool because the whole movie, Will Ferrell's like, Harper, I don't know if I can accept you as a trans woman. And then by the end of the movie, Will Ferrell was like, I don't give a shit who you are. Are you happy? Then I'm happy that you're happy or whatever. And that's the thing that I wish everybody would get to is that, are you happy? Yeah, I'm happy. Okay, then
Yeah. Yeah.
Rather than just generate more. Yeah, Corinne, if you haven't watched Will and Harper, and it got nominated for Critics' Choice Award, Hollywood Music Media Award. It was nominated for an Academy Award. I didn't think it won. And it and then it ran. It is nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award next year.
But it's a documentary, right?
Yeah. It's a documentary. It won a Dorian Award and it won a Cinema Eye Honors Award. So, it's a really good film too. Yeah, I mean, real life story. Plus Harper Steele. I had seen Harper pre-transition or whatever, and when I think about them pre-transition versus post-transition, it's sort of like, wow, I would never have imagined that. But then as a trans woman, I would tell you most people that I know that are trans persons that, um, when you see them post-transition, it's like, I would never have, well, shit, you know? I mean, I'll never be as pretty as Miranda, but um, that's one reason why I don't share pre-transition photos because I look like shit. anyway, so that was really what I have for Trauma Thursday today. I promise Trauma Tuesday will be much better. But I also will tell you that Karen Marie Shelton is interviewing me at 3:00.
Oh, today?
Yes. So that's the thing we should talk about is Sarah and Karen Marie Shelton are running the collective thing. So Brandon, you're going to get a collective invite here probably in about 3 weeks, where you get a list of questions that you get to answer, or have answer, or be forced to answer in a live setting. And
Oh,
the whole
gosh.
purpose, the whole purpose of the collective uh, interviews is to talk about what you're working on. And then,
Oh, okay.
because we only have 20 publications that are in the collective, that means every 3 months you're going to get another invite to talk about whatever the fuck it is you're working on. So, and I'm letting Sarah and Karen Marie Shelton sort of run with that. So that's in an hour. You were warned. But I approved to be the first of the collective victims to the grilling of questions. So that I'll be going live at 3 local time, so about 55 minutes from now.
Oh, okay. So the 3 Eastern time.
Yeah, 3 Eastern time. So yeah. So if you come in there, I don't want any fucking comments from the peanut gallery. But I totally might.
Oh,
I might just totally go.
I mean,
I might go with my sports bra for that.
You should go with your sports bra for that.
the comments are going to happen. If I'm there, I will make comments.
Oh, Brandon, you're such a cutie. You're such a cutie. Okay, so that was really all I had. No, I will tell you though, the as I have confirmed previously and to everybody else, especially Eileen, because Eileen is going to read the shit out of today's story and then she's going to completely pick it apart. I will tell you, Eileen, you specifically requested a Linda Ronstadt song be attached to one of the queer space articles.
It's fair.
I did that for you today, so you better fucking appreciate it.
I did an article about Linda Ronstadt song.
You did?
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago or something with
I remember that.
Lita.
Honey, send Mama the link because I'll advertise it in that post.
I think it was reposted on. I think it was. It was
reposted on the collective probably. But
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go look for it now because I will totally put that. Into this. I'll put that at the bottom on the story.
Yeah, I like Linda Ronstadt.
Really?
Yes.
I would never imagine you to be a.
Now, when I first started listening to the radio on my own, apart from what my parents listened to in the car, Linda Ronstadt, I listened to. The first time I heard the song Desperado was not by the Eagles. It was the version that Linda Ronstadt did. And
really?
Yeah, her cover is superior to theirs.
I think so too. Well, so the front man, I can't remember his name now, but two of the members of the Eagles were started out as her backup singers, and then they branched out and they created the Eagles and whatnot. But anyway, Don Henley, right? But anyway, I loved her and Aaron Neville. They did a 2 or 3 duets together. Don't Know Much.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites.
Yeah. At
that time, I loved soft rock. I was depressed, so I listened to soft rock all the time. That's what you do.
Well, Look, I mean,
Late night radio with Delilah.
Yes, Delilah. Delilah. Yes.
So Eileen specifically requested when will I be loved for that article. So,
Okay.
so that's and it's at the top too. So, but yeah, so I'm actually going to set that to go off at 3:00. So the queer space story, and I put your Linda Ronstadt article.
Oh, did you? I was gonna link it to you, but you're too quick.
No. I got you. When Linda Ronstadt made despair sound beautiful.
Yes.
So that
Linda Ronstadt is someone I have vocal envy with, but my singing voice is more naturally like Johnny Cash, so I have a ways to go.
I'll tell you though. You'll laugh when I tell you this, but literally, like the one female artist that I envy the most vocally over, and I'm going to say this, you're going to look at me funny, but Bonnie Tyler.
Who? Bonnie Tyler.
Yes.
Oh,
Bonnie Tyler.
Yeah.
And so then let me again like further attune why that's the case. My like favorite actress voice, like the actress that has like my favorite voice ever, is the Jessica Rabbit girl.
Oh,
okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Kathleen.
Yeah. Kathleen Turner.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kathleen Turner. And the reason is that gravelly.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if people know this, but in Bonnie Tyler's case, if you listen to her first album, she had this angelic voice, and then a year after that album came out, she got vocal nodules, which scratched her larynx up a whole bunch, and so her voice is a byproduct. So Faster Than the Speed of Sound or whatever, that's her album.
Mm-hmm.
That was her retraining herself to sing again with that gravelly voice and make it actually sound cool. And so, yeah. Oh, Morgan, you did not need to tell me that you have a Kathleen voice, because I think Kathleen Turner's voice was amazing.
For some reason, the chat just disappeared for me. I don't see the chat anymore. Just all this out of the blue. It's just
like if you tap it once, that it shrinks down, and if you
but I didn't touch it. It just it's gone.
That's crazy.
Since I'm outside, I have to look really close.
Yes, you have to look really closely. Yeah.
Like, hi, words.
Oh, there are words there. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna eat my failure pile in a sadness bowl, and then. Did you see your hello? Did you see it?
No.
Okay, that's weird. I don't. People are telling you hi back, by the way.
Oh, hi.
That's hi back. All right. Well, thank you both. Another lovely trauma discussion event. Please, everybody, subscribe to Brandon and Miranda. Because if you do, then I'll be very happy, and if you don't, I'll be very sad.
I'll be happy too.
Yeah, I mean, I would make them very happy also, but then I would not be sad, and I don't think you want me to be sad, so don't make me be sad and subscribe. But with that, I will tell both of you thank you. Later. No
Have fun in your interview.
Yeah, no peanut comments. All right, love you both.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.